Efteling in the Netherlands is one of Europe's most beloved theme parks, often drawing comparisons with Disney, and over the next 2 days I'll be exploring everything this magical place has to offer. Experiencing Efteling's brand new attraction Danse Macabre, enjoying the park's thrilling roller coasters and fantastical dark rides, and I'll be staying overnight at the Efteling Hotel. So let's head down to the always enchanting Efteling. Well, greetings from Efteling. This is one of the best theme parks in Europe. They really go to town on the theming and the experience here. And I'm here really primarily to ride Danse Macabre, which is their brand new intimate dark ride. It's a brand new ride system, so really get excited to get onto that. But also there's so much more here to do, including a few rides that have smited me in the past, including Baron 1898, which is their premier roller coaster here. So a lot to do over the next couple of days. I'm also staying at the Efteling Hotel tonight, so I'm going to show you all of that in this vlog too. Yep, it's that time of year already. Comes around quick, doesn't it? So you may have noticed I didn't come in through the main entrance there. If you're staying at the Efteling Hotel, you do get a sort of private snide side entrance to come into, which kind of dumped you right at the back of the park near Vogelrok, which is sadly closed for this visit. But it's not too busy today. The calendar said it would be lively, but it seems fairly quiet. The major rides are on about a half-hour queue, with the exception of Danse Macabre, which is on an hour. Again, not bad considering that was a 4-hour queue last week. And another ride I cannot wait to get back on is Symbolica, one of the best dark rides in Europe. This is an absolutely magical experience, but we shall come to that later. Well, the single rider and the main entrance are both 50 minutes, so I'm going to go and do the full experience, I think, for my first ride. Let's go. Through the gates we go. It's so eerie around here. They've done a fantastic job in kind of building the atmosphere. So just had my first ride on Danse Macabre, this intimate dynamic stage. Brand new attraction here at Efteling, brand new ride system, but it does tie into the history of the park and their previous attraction here, Spookslot, which stood here until 2022. But that was really impressive. It's heavy on the theming, the effects, the animatronics. The ride system itself, it's called dynamic stage, and that is exactly what it is. You've got 6 gondolas there, all to hold 18 guests each, so a very high capacity attraction. Does mean that there's quite a lengthy unloading process at the end as well. Gave me a chance to get a few sneaky shots anyway. But on the whole, I think a really impressive new attraction here at Efteling. It is obviously based on the orchestral piece, Danse Macabre, and as the music kind of builds and the suspense grows, it becomes a more intense ride experience. You are treated to some fantastic animatronics, including a ghostly conductor, lots of really cool effects in there as well, and a ride system which I get the feeling Efteling have not amped it up to the max. I do think you could get a much more thrilling experience from that. But this is less of a ride experience and more of a performance. It's dramatic, it's heavily on the theming, and I think it ties in so perfectly to Efteling and everything they do here. Come and ride Danse Macabre. I'm going to get some more rides on it over my 2 days here at the park. But right now, I think it's time for some lunch, and then we're going to go and do some Baron action, because that's another major coaster here that I've never been able to ride before. Let's go. So the ride gondolas, obviously are not exactly like this, but these are the choir stalls that the ride gondolas are supposed to mimic. I'd say it's really cool what they've done in there. Awesomely themed. So I just had a bite to eat in Polleskirchen behind me, which is like the cool pancake factory. And that leaves me directly opposite Symbolica on a 20-minute queue. So I think that's up next.
Wie schön, dass Sie die zich hierboven bevindt. Wat is dit?
Alle tovertwinkels, hallo allemaal. Traag treden, openen!
Always great to get back on Symbolica, such a magical and fantastically themed dark ride. That section as you go into the botanical gardens and the whale comes down into the tank and then the glass cracks. Mind-blowing stuff. And the fact that that whale is an animatronic and it's not just on a screen is even more impressive. Yeah, Symbolica's awesome. You've got 3 different tours you can do that just give you slightly different experiences, but the main kind of key set pieces you're going to experience every time anyway. But yeah, that's up there with the best dark rides in Europe. I do think, having ridden Piraten at Batavia last month or a couple of months ago in Europa Park, I do think that's quite a higher standard than Symbolica, just I think due to how large and the sheer scale of it. But for a trackless dark ride, Symbolica's up there with some of the best in the world and is absolutely worth coming here to Efteling to experience it for yourself. Well, it's time for some coasters, and up next, Baron 1898. Now this is a heavily themed B&M dive coaster, and it was closed on my last visit here, so I'm really excited to finally get to ride in this one. It's probably the highest thrill coaster here at Efteling, which does primarily prioritise families, but I mean, this looks awesome, and look at how cool that lift hill structure is. Real steampunk vibes. I think this has got a bit of a spooky element to it as well, so let's go ride a Baron. Well, there is no need for language like this.
Dit is mijn goudmijn. Dit is mijn goudmijn.
Well, great to finally get on Baron 1898 behind me, a B&M dive coaster. It's short, it's sweet, it's the 6 o'clock trains, which does mean it manoeuvres slightly better, but that's all about the theming, the pre-show with the ghosts, the way that lift hill's themed, the sheer volume of smoke in a tunnel, which is absolutely bellowing out, and a couple of really nice inversions there as well, a couple of airtime moments. My restraint wasn't down too tight. You know what, that was decent. I really enjoyed that. I'd certainly ride it again. Is it the fiercest dive coaster out there? No, not by a long shot, but it's really well put together, enjoyable, and very happy to have finally ridden it. Well, I imagine the effects department asked, how much smoke do you want? And Efteling simply said yes. Well, sneaking around this back entrance to Vliegende Hollander, I love how moody it was around there, really smoky. And here we are in the, what I call the coaster corner of Efteling, because everything's here. You've got Joris in the Draak over there, the dueling GCIs, Vliegende Hollander here. Awesome water coaster, which is all about the kind of atmospheric pre-show and indoor sections, and then Python in the background there for some classic Vekoma looping action. Which one do you ride? Comment down below. Well, the Vliegende Hollander is only on a 5-minute queue, so let's go do it, shall we? Through the lions. Fancy a pint? Legitimately, this is one of the coolest ride stations I think there is. How awesome. Well, Vliegende Hollander, or the Flying Dutchman as it's called if you're English, is such a well-themed and atmospheric boat ride that starts very dark. There's some very sinister and atmospheric vibes going on in there as you're just surrounded by plumes of smoke with just a little light or the little lamp at the front of your boat kind of illuminating things before the kind of death angels and freaky lions appear. And then you head into the outdoor section, which is still really atmospheric with smoke everywhere, and then thankfully a very mild splashdown because it is cold. In fact, it's so cold now that I've basically had to turn into Danny Glover for the evening because my hands are freezing. But the atmosphere is really building here. We've got about an hour of ride time left. It's just starting to get dark. Python is all lit up ahead of me, so I think I'm going to do Python, Joris and Draak to finish the day, or heading into Python for some Vekoma action, a 10-minute queue. Let's go. Well, it's a purple tinged Python today. I imagine in the next half hour or so as it gets dark, this is going to look even cooler. Always good to get back on a classic Vekoma, especially one that rides as smoothly as that. Python had a full retrack a few years ago. It also has the vest restraints on the trains, which makes all the difference, and it makes for a really smooth and surprisingly thrilling experience, particularly the entrance and exit out of the loops. I think the helix at the end felt really good at the back as well, so yeah, impressed with how it's riding, glad to get it on it all lit up nicely in the dark here. So I think Joris and the Draak in the dark is probably going to be our last ride of today. Maybe I'll get on Baron as well. But I just want to quickly show you the Christmas trees around here all lit up because it does look really, really nice. Well, we're about 6 weeks too early, but it is a Christmas wonderland around here. I'll be honest, I'm not really feeling that vibe right now. So let's go ride roller coasters. Well, 5 minutes to ride a GCI in the dark. Why not, eh? May even get both sides in. So what do you reckon? Fire or water? Vote down below, but I'm doing water, so your vote's irrelevant. Sorry. Well, the trumpets have sounded and we're heading up the lift hill for Joris and the Draak on the water side. I opted not for front row because there is already a front row POV up on the channel. There are so many cool different lights up here. Park looks amazing. Oh wow, look at the pagoda in the distance as we come around this bend here. You may see it. Let's go! Fingers up to the train. I'm sure they're fine people, but regardless. Oh, that was fierce. Well, that night ride on the water side was so fierce, I'm going around to do the fire side now. 2 GCIs at night, can't go wrong with that, can you? Well, we won again. Both trains I was on one. I'm not sure how, because there's a clear head start from the water train there, clearly trying to get an advantage, but I guess it just shows cheaters do not prosper. Well, Joris and the Draak, or George and the Dragon, 2 dueling GCI wooden coasters themed to dragons. Should be called Double Dragon really, just to associate us 80s gaming nerds, but really cool to get on both sides during the dark there. GCIs ride so well at night, it's just, I don't know why, it's just in their makeup. I do think the water side still is noticeably better than fire. It obviously did have some retrack work a couple of years ago, which may tie into that slightly. I just think it's a slightly better and slightly more forceful ride experience, but both sides really good. You can hear the roar as they go around behind me there. And I mean, the whole park just looks beautiful lit up at night, doesn't it? So let's go and explore a little bit more. I believe ride closes 6, which it is now, but it could be later. We shall find out. Let's carry on. Well, this is surreal. The park is almost entirely emptied out. I feel like I'm the only one around. Although you can still hear screams from roller coasters, so I guess Baron ran a little bit longer, but look at Symbolica all lit up there. That's looking beautiful. Yeah, it's been a fantastic afternoon here at Efteling, so let's go check into the Efteling Hotel and we'll go and see what's on offer there. Well, Vogelrok also looking fantastic all lit up at night. That is one lit up bird. Unfortunately, Vogelrok will be closed through the duration of my visit. Just grab my luggage and we're going to go and check in, which should be really seamless because it's all done through the Efteling app. Let's get inside and I'll explain more. So here we are up by my room. I'm in room 306. Now, everything's done on the app here. And if I click my digital key, it tells me just to hold my phone next to the door. So let's see if it works. There we go. And this is my room here at the Efteling Hotel. And it all looks quite nice, doesn't it? It's not the hugest, but it's all very nicely laid out. We've got some sort of cat lamp. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, can you? And look at this chap. He's all dressed for the occasion. It's quite dark in here though, so we've got a few lamps we can turn on. This has got some sort of wings on here. And we've got some boots down here, which are bins, waste boots. Better than a waste man in here, I guess. And in here will be the toilet, which is also all fine. So not a bad little space at all this. It all feels very cosy. We've got a big spacious cupboard that is, I mean, you can't see it much because it's dark in here and the light's not really shining on it too clearly. But we do have a safe in here. Also some random red shoes. I don't know if you can see those there. They're stuck to it, can't take them, which is a shame because they're practically my size. Also a little mini bar down here too. Keep your drinks cool. So these rooms are designed for 3 people. You can see they've got a double bed as well as this sort of sofa bed slash chaise lounge thing. The only thing I'll say is that there is a lack of a desk. We've got a little kind of plinth here, but no seating or anything to kind of, you know, so if you're coming here like me to hopefully edit some of your vlog from today, then it is a bit limiting. But other than that, I think a really good room. So let's chat price. So I'm staying here on a Thursday night in a hotel with 2 days at the park, breakfast included, as well as half hour's early ride time on both days. That's come to €247 with all the taxes and everything added on, which is about £210. And I don't think that's too bad. When you think a day at the park comes in around €50 anyway, that extra half hour in the morning could be really handy, especially if Danse Macabre continues to get high queues. It means I might potentially dive into that early. Yeah, it all looks nice. So we're going to explore the hotel shortly. I have got a dinner reservation for 8:30, so I'll take you down there with me too. So I ordered from a €39 set menu, which is 3 courses, and my first course is up, and it is salmon. Very nicely presented. And for main, I've gone for the beef tenderloin steak with some kind of parsnip puree and onions and some weird crisps. I've been seeing some mad stuff come out of the kitchen. And for dessert, I have some sort of pistachio thing, which seems to be a treasure chest in, I don't know what that is. It looks interesting. I've seen actual trees coming out as well, which is mad. So also here in the hotel, there is a children's little play centre here. It's quite limited, to be fair. What's up here? Oh, it's how you subscribe. Bar here as well. All looks quite nice. And then it's just the lobby section. It's quite a small, limited hotel, but very nice for what it is. So let's head back up to the room and have a chat about dinner. So dinner was pretty good overall. It was a 3-course menu for €39. I did pay an extra €2 supplement to have the steak, and then paid €9 for a hefty white beer, which was really good. So 50 all in. Which sounds kind of expensive on the surface, but to put some context on it, I stayed in Bruges last night and paid €50 just for a, sorry, I'm trying to find my room and I'm getting it all wrong. And I paid €50 just for a main meal and a drink with tips. So on the surface, I don't think that's too bad. And the food was really nice, like really nice, really nicely presented too. So heading back into my room now. Well, good morning. Had a fairly good night's sleep there at the Efteling Hotel, albeit a slightly bit of oddness this morning as I was in the shower and housekeeping knocked multiple times, and despite me shouting no quite loudly, they still entered the room. So never ideal when that happens, but otherwise pretty good stay with a nice meal last night too. So heading into the park for round 2. We've got a bit of early ride time as well, so let's go and investigate. Well, the queue for Danse Macabre is already building. Park's not even open yet, and it's already a longer queue than it was yesterday. So I'm going to come back to that later, because I do believe that once everyone's come in and done this first, that this afternoon it will probably drop down to kind of 45-50 minutes again. So as you get to the end of the queue, Baron, you're given a ticket, and that directs you to a certain point at the station. Well, a nice start to the day there on Baron 1898, and still a really good dive coaster. At the back, certainly a little bit more rattly than it was yesterday. I don't know whether that's because I was at the back row or because I was right on the left-hand side. But it was nice, especially towards the second half of the layout there. It really was starting to bounce around a little bit, but still a really fun ride. I mean, the theming is what makes that. The ghosts doing their thing and all that. It's really cool, the drop's decent, so much mist in that tunnel, and a couple of nice inversions too. So yeah, solid start to the day. Well, I think it's safe to say that it's now gone 11 o'clock and the park is open because there's people flooding everywhere. So I'm going to head towards the back of the park, I think, try and get in some of the world-class dark rides we have here at Efteling. I think Droomvlucht is definitely on the agenda. Villa Volta I've never ridden before, kind of one of the earlier madhouses. So yeah, I'm going to head in that direction, I think. Well, the Danse Macabre queue has grown a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll wait till later on. Well, the Christmas carolers are out in force. Heading in to the magical Droomvlucht. A real classic here at Efteling, and this I think sums up the park perfectly in their commitment to storytelling. Just a wonderful attraction. Well, here we are on board Droomvlucht. I will probably edit this quite heavily because there are quite a few dark sections, but also sections like this. Great to have a ride on the always magical Droomvlucht there. It's just retro goodness really, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of those animatronics have dated now, but I think that adds to the charm, and I do really love those kind of the real retro old school dark rides. They just have, there's something about them, like I say, it's very charming. You can tell that so much love went into their original ideation and creation, and that's awesome to see. And I love to see rides like that kind of given a new lease of life and kept up to date and kept in good condition, as Efteling do with all of their attractions. So yeah, awesome to get back on that. And now I'm just heading into Villa Volta for some madhouse action. I'll be honest, I'm a bit tired of madhouses at this point, but I do believe this is one of the more interesting ones. So let's go give it a go.
Stond laag en we zochten bedden voor de nacht, maar van dorpen was geen spoor.
Vekoma madhouses are undoubtedly a really impressive invention, but once you've ridden a few of them, the novelty does start to wear off, and sadly I do think that is the case with Villa Volta, which I believe was one of the originals. I don't think it quite has the impact of a Hex or some of the others out there. Still really impressively themed, but I don't know, it felt slightly more basic than some of the other madhouses that I've ridden. Still really cool, some nice animatronics in the sort of pre-show section, and of course the madhouse itself is fun and interesting, and they're a really cool contraption. I think I've just ridden too many of them now, so the novelty is just worn off to the point where I'm just like, oh, we're spinning around again. Cool, but it's fine, you know, it was decent. It was very Efteling. I think I'm just a bit mad housed out. Well, as I wander down to the front of the park, I thought I'd just take a quick look at the diorama in here. A really impressive little model landscape. I mean, this is just art, isn't it? Really impressive. It must have taken so long to put this all together, and you'd imagine it's all been done by hand too. Well, next up is Max and Moritz, a pair of Mac powered coasters. Quite specifically, I'm going to ride Max, because I rode Moritz last time I was here. And some great views of Danse Macabre from the queue line here. Like and subscribe. Well, it's impossible for this not to sound dodgy, but let's go for a ride on Max. So I've just ridden Max, don't judge me, and that was fine. I mean, Mac powered coasters do Mac powered coaster things, but as with Moritz, which I rode a couple of years ago, I do enjoy the fact that you get a speed up on a second lap. I do think that really adds to it. It stops it from just being a 2-lap special and actually makes it a more complete ride, even though you're just doing the same lap again another time. Some quite cool theming in the station and everything, and obviously that's a family coaster aimed at younger riders, and it does a really good job down here near the front of the park as well. So yeah, happy to get on that one. Great Efteling has places where you can go for a nap. So construction of the Grand Hotel just by the entrance to Efteling here continues. It looks like it's almost fully up now, the structure, and they're just getting everything else together. So more on-site accommodation here is obviously very welcome. And a look across the lake here where they have their spectacular fountain displays at the end of the day. I missed it last night, and I probably will again tonight, just because, I mean, it's dark at that point and it's quite nice to do the rides in the dark. But we'll see how this evening goes. This frog over here is called Daniel, and he thinks you should like the video. You're not going to let a frog down, are you? Especially not some sort of frog prince. Well, up next is another of the classic Efteling dark rides, Fata Morgana. Well, I think we're going to be going on some sort of Arabic boat ride. Could be fun. Hide your shame. Fata Morgana was a really impressive boat dark ride. I think naturally it's difficult not to make comparisons with Pirata in Batavia at Europa Park, because there are some very clear similarities there. And obviously Pirata, I think, is the better ride. But also worth noting that had a massive refresh recently because it burnt down. I mean, to Fata's credit, I don't believe that's ever caught fire, so it's got one up in that sense. But yeah, some really impressive theming, some really cool animatronics in there. I mean, everywhere you look, there's stuff going on. It's yeah, really impressive throughout, and hopefully that came across on the POV. There are a few bits I didn't catch because I was kind of sat to the right of a boat, so some quite cool stuff on the left hand side, like some camels and tiger animatronics and crocodiles, things like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. You know, these sort of boat trip dark rides do offer something different to the usual ride systems, and I really enjoy them. Well, Danse Macabre has settled on a sort of 60-minute queue, so I think I'm going to go and join that. Well, my plan was to do the main queue, but as I got round to the front bit, I noticed a single rider had dropped to just 20 minutes, so it seemed silly to wait 40 minutes longer than necessary, so up to the single we go. And indeed, single rider is right by the entrance. I'd say there's maybe 25 people in front of me. Not bad at all. Well, my second ride on Danse Macabre, and that was much better than yesterday. I think some of the lighting maybe wasn't working yesterday because that seemed so much brighter. There's so much more to see. Loads of things I didn't notice on my first ride, which, I mean, that happens, to be fair. I mean, there's a lot to take in. But someone did, as I'm recording this, I would have uploaded my first ride reaction yesterday, and someone did comment to say that it didn't seem like everything was lit correctly, and that certainly seems to be the case, because that was a much better experience than the one I had yesterday. It's a really fantastic, atmospheric and dramatic ride experience. The fact that on both occasions there's been applause at the end kind of says a lot, really. I mean, either people think they've just landed a plane successfully, or they're just genuinely impressed with what they've just ridden. I think it's probably the latter. So I'm really interested to know what other people think of Danse Macabre, because it's one of them rides that I think is going to really impress a lot of people who are into the kind of the theme-heavy, story-driven stuff. But I think it'll be less impressive to people who just want to go on a ride. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, really intrigued to see how this long term will kind of settle in here. Obviously at the moment it's the big new ride, so it's generating big crowds and a lot of interest. But where will this sit in amongst kind of Efteling's pantheon of impressive dark ride experiences? But there's no doubt this is very impressive, very unique and original. You don't see many rides like this out there. So I think Efteling are onto a winner here, but I guess we'll see how it kind of settles in over the next kind of year or two. But overall, yeah, really great addition to Efteling. Danse Macabre, I think, is it's a unique performance, story-driven attraction, and I really enjoy it. Well, man's got an ice cream donut, €6. This looks pretty good. I'm going to go and munch this, and then maybe time for some more rides. Well, that donut was solid, not literally. Anyway, Symbolica single rider is 5 minutes, so I'm going to go and give this a go. I appreciate I probably won't be able to choose which experience I have, but that's fine. The pagoda up there in the distance, I will be doing that later on as well. I want to do it when it's dark, because I think seeing the park all lit up from above will be really beautiful. Well, Symbolica still stacks up as just one of the best dark rides in Europe, really. Some of the effects in there, just the imagination that's gone in behind it, all the different kind of moving parts and animatronics, it's all really impressive. I have to say, as someone who doesn't speak the language, so there is a bit of a barrier there, I don't see the appeal of Pardos. He seems like a bit of a bellend, to be honest, just going in there and just making a mischief of things. So, and he looks like a bit of a knob as well. So yeah, don't get a height with Pardos. Maybe someone can explain to me why this annoying little jester is so revered. I mean, I'm being a little sarcastic. Don't take it too personally, Efteling purists. I was about to say look at the atmosphere, and then Vliegende Hollander went overhead and just dripped loads of water on me. Ruined the vibe. Well, sometimes you've just got to ride a pirate ship, don't you? And while I'm at such a heavily themed park with loads of amazing rides, it does seem like an odd choice, but that looks like a bit of a monster, doesn't it? So let's go do it. It's just gone 5 PM, it's getting dark, and I've just jumped in a 20-minute queue for Baron 1898, hoping for a somewhat dark ride. I think 20 minutes time, it would have got significantly darker. Well, darkness has fallen here at Efteling. Riding Baron in the night was really cool. Almost completely dark, but not quite, but near enough, and I'll take that. Anyway, just heading up to the pagoda now to get some aerial views of Efteling all lit up. We're being invaded. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Efteling at night from above. Some spectacular views from the pagoda there of Efteling all lit up at night. I think particularly their Christmas area, which is not open yet with the ice rink, looked lovely from above. So that's something for anyone coming here during the Christmas season to appreciate, and I'm sure you'll have a lovely time if you do. So let's have a chat about Efteling in general over the last couple of days. And first of all, Danse Macabre I think is a fantastic addition. That second ride I think really cemented it. The first time, obviously there was some slight lighting issues and we didn't get the full experience, but second time, it's a fantastic ride, some incredible theming, just the atmosphere and the whole kind of experience. It's something you kind of feel more than anything, and you've got to really experience it for yourself to really appreciate it. I don't think any videos are going to do it justice at all. Now, in terms of the park as a whole, when Disney level parks get discussed, there's kind of two in Europe that really come up, and that's Europa Park and here at Efteling. And you can really see why. The attention to detail, the fact that storytelling really is at the heart of everything they do here. But I really like it here. I mean, it's not somewhere you come necessarily as a thrill seeker. You've only really got kind of 2 or 3 roller coasters that offer a kind of thrilling experience. It's more about the overall theming, the package, the environment, how everything's put together, because they don't really leave many stones unturned here. You're either walking through some really lovely nature or you're in these really highly themed immersive areas, and many of them are just walkthroughs, like the diorama I went through earlier and things like that. Even the pagoda, you know, these are just classic attractions done well and maintained to a high standard so that they can continue to operate for a lengthy time. And there's something to be said for that, you know, to have that real mixture of classic and modern. It's awesome. So Efteling is definitely a park that I would always recommend if it's not somewhere you've been. From the UK, it's fairly straightforward to get to. It's a great park. It's a great park with some great people. You can tell that it's a place that's loved. You can get some nice food here too. The hotel stay was really good. So I can't really speak any more highly of this place. It is just one of those top level European theme parks. I'm off to Plopsaland Japan tomorrow, so subscribe if you'd like to see my vlog from there too. It'd be great to get back on Ride to Happiness. And if you'd like to learn more about European theme parks, then I've got a whole bunch of vlogs from Germany that I recorded in the last couple of months too. So that's up on the screen now. Give them a watch if you'd like, and I shall catch you soon. Cheers, bye.